Morena, good morning from the Scots whare anō. Inare kei te kōrero o ki a koutou I te ata nei. The last few days, Donald has been leading us in a meditative prayer, which has been great, where we've been encouraged to place ourselves in the story. Today, we will look at more of a reflective style, a bit like an examine. The scriptures set out before us today are in the New Testament, the first being from Mark chapter 14, verses 12 to 72, and then dovetailing into that, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, 23 to 26. In Mark chapter 14, starting at verse 12, it is about Jesus eating the Passover feast with his disciples. These verses include the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the preparation of the meal, the mention of someone will betray Jesus, through to when Jesus gives them bread and wine, declaring that it is now his body and blood that is the new covenant which has been formed, to them worshipping together, Peter declaring that he would never deny Jesus, Jesus' arrest and trial before the runanga, the council, ending with Peter's denial under pressure and going back on his word. There's a lot in these verses leading up to Jesus' death on the repeka, the cross, and the hope of new life with the resurrection. I encourage you to read over these verses today. In this time leading up to the crucifixion, and from the disciples sat down to eat, to fulfill the Jewish Passover celebrations in remembrance of the angel of death passing over them, thus resulting in Moses being allowed to lead the people out of slavery to what is now called the Last Supper. This time probably felt a bit confusing, even wrong. Or some still asking, what has just happened? Who would have thought that these things, situations, environments, relationships could change so quickly? And if you weren't up with the changing events, that one has the potential to get behind the news very quickly, even more so without the internet and TV, but that's not what they were expecting. On a side note, we had our last family meal together on a Sunday night before the lockdown, when it was mentioned that it could be our last hui together for a while. There were many doubters and scoffers amongst us. Not at all unusual. Gosh, that seems such a long time ago now. I look forward to it being happening again with the laughter and the noise. It's a little bit quiet around here. But I encourage you to go back over these scriptures and ask the Lord to speak to you and to reveal his heart to you. Maybe ask, what's really going on for them at this time? And what about us now? Maybe ask, what in me needs to be crucified, laid to death? You may even allow some reflection throughout the day. Maybe it's our need to be in control of ourselves or others in our bubble, our work, our finances, our environment. Maybe it's our expectations of ourselves, what we'd hoped we'd be like, what we'd be hoped to be able to do or not do, to say or not say, what we expect of others, both within our bubble and not, maybe those waiting in line or in the supermarket itself. How do we cope with people around or not around, or not the ones that we'd like to be around at this time? Do we demand our own space at the expense of others? Can we enjoy our own company? Are we liking the new us that we're becoming? Are there habits, etc., that we'd like to put to death at this time of isolation so that we can emerge more fully alive? It has been said that the glory of God is man fully alive. My prayer is that you and I will allow this transformation to be more beautiful than before, that we will allow God to transform us, become more beautiful than before. As we reflect on these things, we might like to repent and bring them to the cross. We'll have a communion tonight with Dave. Happy reflecting. And I look forward to seeing the new in you emerge. No reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā katoa.